This is episode 546, How the Fear of Loss is Keeping You from Building Your Own Life with Ilaria. Welcome to Life Coaching with Christine Hassler, a space where truth and love come together to guide you back to your truest self. Hi, I'm Christine, a master coach, author, and spiritual psychologist. For over 20 years, I've supported people through the deep work of letting go, waking up, and coming home to who they truly are. Each week, you'll hear an unedited, unscripted coaching session with someone moving through a challenge or block in their life. These are tender and powerful conversations where deep healing happens in real time. Even though I'm coaching someone else, you will hear yourself in their story. This is a place where you will feel seen and supported and walk away with insight, emotional relief, and tools you can apply in your own life. Let's dive into today's session. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Thank you, as usual, for being here. Just a little heads up. I don't know if you've been feeling it, but July is meant to be a pretty intense month astrologically and galactically, meaning things like solar flares and lots of geometric activity, which is something I really feel in my body. So it's just a really great time to remember your grounding practices, remember your nervous system practices, and remembering to rest. I talk about in my email this week how I spent all day in bed on Sunday, which I never do. And I had to really fight through a lot of my just beliefs about being lazy and, not being there for my child and there's things I should do and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, if you're not getting my emails, I'm writing them all myself. We're back to me sharing something from my life, sharing something that I think could be valuable for you in terms of an aha or a teaching opportunity or reminder. They're short. They just take a few minutes to read. So if you're not getting those, go ahead and sign up at christinehassler.com. I love my guest today because we talk about something we talk about a lot on the show, which is working on something for so long, really working and working and working and working on it and feeling like it's not shifting. And if you've listened for a while, you know that one of the ways through that is to move into acceptance and to stop fighting something so hard. And also find the right tool that helps you do that. And I really think that we got there today. So I hope you enjoy this episode. As you're listening, consider, have you had something you've been working on for years and it just doesn't seem to shift? Do you have a deep fear of losing someone that's keeping you from really calling the things into your life that you deeply desire? Do you worry a lot about the people you love? So keep these questions in mind as you listen to my coaching call. Before we dive in, I want to talk to you about feet. First, I'm going to talk to you about my feet. They're not my best body part, that's for sure. I've had trouble with my feet since I was very young. Think bunions, think bad, too narrow a foot, just like not a good situation. Can't wear heels. I'm very particular about the kind of shoes that I wear. That's why I was excited about a brand called Poluva. They're a 5-toe minimalist shoe, which offers an authentic barefoot style experience, but with sufficient cushioning to use for any manner of everyday movement, fitness, and athletic activities. Poluvas are also incredibly stylish, so you get a barefoot shoe that looks pretty good. Poluvas are the solution to the damage and destruction caused by modern shoes, the elevation of the heel, excessive cushioning and support features, and toes crammed together. The result is 77% of Americans suffering from chronic pain, like bunions, raise my hand to that, corns, blisters, so on and so forth. I mean, sometimes I'm amazed at the tennis shoes people wear. They're like heels. So Poluva's best of class advantage is the individual 5-toe articulation, a separate slot for each of your toes, which is pretty cool. It allows for the correct dynamic movement of the foot, which is impossible when toes are all in a single box, even a wide toe box. So when you put on a pair of Poluvas, you're getting an automatic foot strengthening effect, a toe spacer effect, and a healing effect from the damage caused by regular shoes. I want you to try a pair of Poluvas with no risk, and you'll quickly realize these are the most comfortable and beneficial shoes you've ever worn. They're designed to make you feel like we're walking barefoot on a putting green. So go to Poluva.com, that's Peluva.com, and use the code Christine for 10% off your first pair. Again, Peluva.com, and use the code Christine for 10% off your first pair. Ilaria, welcome to the show. How can I help?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I would love to hear your intuition about this fear that I have since a long time. And regardless of all the work that I've done on myself with therapy, inner child, breath work, nervous system, everything, I still go through the same thing, which is this overwhelming fear of losing my parents out of the blue. And
Mm.
sometimes I have nightmares and I wake up and I have to check on them to see if they are still there. And I just don't know. I would love to go on with my life and actually, start with my life. I'm almost 33 now. But what I noticed is this intergenerational thing with my dad, who lost his parents around my age. And yeah, I kind of feel in my body like this shocking. I think that was not by chance that I dropped my mic. Um, yeah, it is my body feeling it. I feel it in my body. I feel like it's my DNA. It's not even my story somehow. And I really don't know how to just like be curious about it and allow my body to relax through this. Um,
That's a lot of fear to hold
mhm.
in your body and your nervous system. How long has this been going on?
As long as I can remember, I remember myself as a child just crying myself to sleep sometimes, just like having these
Mm.
images of my parents not being there anymore. But then it stopped for many years. And it just, I think it was triggered around my 30s. And with my parents getting older, having like health issues and stuff like that, it has been wild. It's
Yeah.
been a lot. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's calm and it's off. But then when I planning my life and I'm like, okay, it's time to go, it's time to see my to meet my, let's say, soulmate or get out there and be independent, it just comes back. And I
Mm.
really don't know how to listen to it, but
Yeah.
also letting it go because I can see that it comes back regardless of my compassion or all the curiosity that I had through these years and all the work that I've done. I just see it coming back, and it comes back like really, let's say, funny, because I can see how absurd it is sometimes. But
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Tell me what your parents mean to you. Who are they to you, other than your parents, obviously?
I feel like they are my heart. They are the reason why um, somehow I move through the world. I want. Can I? Wow, that's a very good question. They are my guides. They are they are my stars. Um, they kind of give me direction somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. As parents, that's a parent's job. Yeah. It sounds like you have a beautiful relationship with them. Is that true?
Yes, we do have a beautiful relationship. Of course, we've been through a lot. Like I think every family goes through many things.
Sure.
We had a tough time for sure, especially with my dad. But now things got better, and yeah, we definitely they are very supportive and loving. We don't have the same view on life, of course. I have my own way to see things, but yeah, we definitely have beautiful relationship, and that's why just the idea to of not having them anymore in my life, it's crazy. I can't see myself um, out there somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you an only child?
I'm not. There are
Hmm.
four of us. I have an older brother and two younger siblings.
And you're the only one that carries this fear?
I think so. Like
Yeah.
they never spoke about it. I'm sure that they have the same fear, but they never spoke about how it's affecting their lives.
Hmm. How are you sure they have the same fear?
Because every time there is something health related about my parents,
Hmm.
they want to know. They are immediately there. They're like, how? what did the doctor said, or
Yeah.
they jump in pretty quickly. So
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. Well, I just want to acknowledge how heavy this has been for you and how much you've worked on it. I assume you've done some work around past lives.
I did through
Mhm.
the family constellation. I
Yeah.
noticed that there were like some past lives, yeah, residues.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, since you've done so much work on it, I'm not guided to like dig in more because it
Hmm.
seems like it's multi-layered. There's most likely some past life karmic things you're working out where there probably was a sudden loss that you're still feeling in this lifetime.
Hmm.
And maybe something you can rest in is the reason I have this is because it happened before. And this is
Hmm.
my lifetime to actually enjoy them.
Yeah.
This is my lifetime where I actually get to keep them.
Hmm.
And, but moreover, what I want to offer you to consider is the more we try to make something go away, the more it sticks. And I
Hmm.
really hear how much you want this to go away. And so I'm wondering what it would be like if you surrendered to it and just fully accepted that you have this fear.
Hmm.
What would change?
That's the intention that I had with, you know, talking to you. I wanted to become more curious about it and compassionate in a way that it doesn't require the fear to just leave this body since it's so. But yeah, it feels relaxing and sad.
And what was the second part?
I feel kind of sad.
Sad. Say more about that.
I feel hmm, like putting myself and my needs aside for letting this fear stay somehow. It's like I have to give up on my dreams and um,
Mm,
my energy somehow.
okay. So,
Mhm.
why do those two things have to go together? Why does allowing this fear not to be a problem? Because I'm not saying to let it stay and impact the way your life, impact the life the way it has been, but to
Mhm.
stop making it a problem and you not being able to live your life. Why do those two things go together?
Because it stops me from moving out and not think about them and just do something for myself somehow. It just, that's how I see it connected. Um,
Okay.
mhm.
Have you done parts therapy on this?
Sorry,
Have you done any parts therapy on
part therapy?
parts?
Part,
IFS, Integrated Family System Parts Therapy.
no.
Okay. If there was any other therapy you were going to look into, I would
Okay.
suggest that because this, what it feels like is this isn't all of you. This is a
Hmm.
part of you. And there's a scared younger part of you who doesn't want to lose her mom and dad.
Hmm.
And there's a protector part that thinks worrying about it and thinking about them all the time and checking on them is the thing that is what you need to do to keep yourself safe.
Hmm.
And the way we work with parts is we don't try to make them go away. And this is why I was talking a little bit about the acceptance. So, when we come into acceptance with something, we stop making it a problem. I'll give you an example from my own life. I've talked about this on the podcast before.
Hmm.
I worry, and I have tried to not worry my whole life, and nothing works. And then in one meditation, probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I had the thought, like, what if it wasn't a problem that I worried? What if I just accepted this as part of me? It's not all of me, but the energy I'm giving it by trying to make it go away, telling myself it's robbing me of my life, telling myself that it stops me from doing what I want to do, like all the whole story and narrative I had around me worrying was actually more of a problem than the worrying itself. Does that make
Hmm.
sense so far?
Yes. Yeah.
So I got to the point where I was like, oh, I worry. And it's not I, Christine, like my highest self, Christine. It's a part. It's a protector part who's protecting a scared little girl who felt like at some point she didn't have any control and thinks that she's going to have control and protect herself from something bad happening by worrying, and also protects the people she loves by worrying about them.
Mm-hmm.
So I see it as this little girl and this protector part. So when the worry comes up, I'm like, oh, there's me worrying again. Like before we started recording, I said, oh, let me just check this text. It's about my daughter. She's at camp, because I dropped my daughter at camp, and my daughter's very slow to warm. And she was just kind of hanging in the back. She was really clingy. Took me a while to leave. And I left and I walked out, and I could feel the worry. Could feel the worry coming up and that urge to go back in and get her. And I just talked to that part and I said, oh, there's my worry. This is often what I do when I love and I feel like I don't have control. And the worry is how I try to like deal with my anxiety and the uncertainty, right? Because it's really the uncertainty I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked myself, what do I know to be true? I know she's at a familiar place. I know she's safe. I talked to the coach. They're going to text me in an hour. Like I have a plan, right? And then I just acknowledge the fact that that worry part came up. I don't try to make it go away. And this is something I deal with on a day-to-day basis with my life. I always will probably have that worrier. I'm open to it shifting, like I'm open to it, but I'm not attached to it. So in hearing that, what did you get anything from that?
Absolutely. It makes a lot of sense.
So how do you think you can apply that to the situation with the part of you that worries about your parents?
Yeah, I can see how actually it's not linked to me moving out or starting my life. That whenever it
Yes.
comes back, it's actually a part of my experience. So I can actually experience it without linking, like creating like a connection with everything else about myself and my higher self or my goals and everything else. I can see that it's definitely a part. I never thought about it like that. I kind of saw it like something very rooted in my
Yeah.
unconscious, but I never thought I could actually separate it from everything else. It,
Yes.
and yeah.
Yes, you can. And this is a very effective tool. And parts work, I feel, is a very effective form of therapy.
Mm.
Doing it with a skilled practitioner who is certified and licensed in it. But just the aha that you were able to get to today speaks volumes to how ready you are for this to take its rightful place in your psyche.
Mm-hmm.
So when we give protector parts too much, so in parts therapy, they call it the living room. So if you think about where people spend most of the time in the house, I think mostly it's the kitchen, but for a lot of people, it's the living room, right? So living room is where you gather, where you can hold the most people. And so in parts therapy, they talk about how whatever part's in the living room is kind of running the show.
Mm-hmm.
And you really want to be mindful of like what parts are in the living room. I like to use the metaphor or the picture of driving a bus. Okay. So you've got all your parts. You've got a protector part who's worried about your parents. You've probably got a protector part in there who's hard on you and can kind of show up as an inner critic because it wants you to do your best. You've probably got a protector part that edits you sometimes in front of other people because you want to make sure you come across a certain way. You've also got parts that are really confident about things. We've got all kinds of parts, and there's no bad parts. There's actually a book, you might want to get it as a start, called No Bad Parts, that I highly recommend.
Mm-hmm.
And what's been happening is this protector part, we'll just name her Sarah for a moment. Sarah decided a long time ago, when you started to feel all this fear of losing your parents, that she didn't know what to do with all this fear. She had all this fear and all this love going together. And when fear and love go together, that's a recipe for just worrying incessantly in a very flared up nervous system because you can't make the love go away. So, and you don't want to make the love go away. And if worry and fear are paired together, then the fear is not going to go away either. So you've had this intertwinement of love and fear paired together for so long. And the reason you haven't, from my perspective, I don't want to say anything that doesn't feel true to you, but from my perspective, the reason this has been so hard is because you can't stop loving your parents. So then you can't stop being scared they're going to die. Yeah. But that was wired at a super young age. And so this protector part's like, okay, I'm just going to worry. That's how I'm going to keep them safe. And your grown up, almost 33-year-old self can go, okay, like, I'm sure you have moments when you remember you're not God. You can't control it. Yeah. If and when they do die, which is going to happen, like, you're going to be okay. That's more yourself. That's more an adult part talking. Yeah. But then this younger part gets scared again. The protector part comes in. I'm going to worry. I'm going to check on them. I'm going to make sure they're going to the doctor's appointments. I can't start my life unless I know they're okay. Okay. And she's just been driving the bus. And so it's time to kind of tap her out, be like, I'm going to take the wheel. You can still have a seat on the bus. You're still valid. We're just going to start dealing with this, like protecting that little girl in a different way.
Okay. Yeah.
And when it comes up, just be like, oh, this is a part. This is because I love my parents so much. And right now in this moment, I'm just going to focus on the love. Because when we have worry and fear intertwined with love, sometimes we're so caught up in feeling the worry and fear, we actually don't feel the love as much.
Yeah.
But welcome her on the bus. Don't make her go away. Don't try to get rid of her. Just work with her. And if you read the book, No Bad Parts, it'll talk you through how to, this is not their language, I don't think. I just read the book a long time ago. But when I teach it, I talk about you give the parts a job promotion. So you think about these parts were formed when you were really young and, not that savvy, didn't have executive functioning in your brain. And so now you're going to give that part that wants to protect this young girl who loves her parents so much, who feels they are her heart, a better job description that doesn't feel like it stops you from living your life.
Yeah.
How does this feel in your body and your nervous system?
Yeah, my body is relaxing. Yes, this is it. That's the key. Okay.
Yeah. 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 And really, I really encourage you to give yourself a lot of grace too, because, when we work on something for a long time, we can be like, oh, I've been working on this for a long time. Just remember, it's been difficult because the way it's been wired in your consciousness, you'd have to kind of stop loving your parents to make this go away in the way that you've been trying to work it out so far. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they've been so intertwined. And so parts work will help you unravel that so you can have the love without all the fear. And when the fear comes up, you can hold it and help it get back to its appropriate seat on the bus. Not try to make it go away.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. I can see every part in my body right now being like, yes, this is it. Because it's been a physical experience more than a psychological one so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm happy that my body's responding.
Yeah. Me too. Well, I'm so happy that you asked me for my intuition. I'm so glad that your intuition has led you here, right? And this is what you called forward. And would you be open to considering getting that book as a start?
100%. I'm actually a psychologist.
Oh, great.
And I never heard about the part therapy. So I'm like, okay,
oh,
very cool.
Wow, you might end up getting certified in it. You love it so much.
That's super cool. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. And thank you for loving as deeply as you do.
Thank you.
What a beautiful and vulnerable conversation we had today, and such a great reminder, even when I was talking about my own worry, such a great reminder of how we can be with ourselves in acceptance and be open to things shifting, but not be so adamant about them changing. Because when we're in that, I got to change this, I got to fix this, we're consistently in judgment. And as you've heard me say on the show many, many times, nothing heals in judgment. Absolutely nothing. So I talked a little bit about parts work on this episode. If you go and Google my name, podcast, and Richard Schwartz, you can listen to a podcast I did back in 2021 where I interviewed Richard Schwartz on IFS, which is parts work. And he takes me through some work with my parts. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can check out that episode. We're going to link it up in the show notes. And also, I recommended a book called No Bad Parts, which is a wonderful resource as well. And what I love so much about this episode is we got to a place of feeling some spaciousness and relief. And that's really, for me, for lack of a better word, the goal. At USM, where I got my graduate degree, one of the things that was a principle was how you relate to any issue is the issue. And if we relate to something with, I got to change this, I got to fix this isn't okay, so on and so forth, then it's going to stick more, it's going to be trickier. But if we can really relate to something as, this is not a problem, and I can love it and accept this. And if we do parts work, put it in a different seat on the bus. The other thing that I thought was really valuable from this conversation is to look at how we have love and fear entangled. And often when we do, that does create a block. So the block she was feeling was really real because the responsibility of loving something so much came with great fear. Honestly, that was one of the biggest things that kept me from having a child. I waited a really long time before I had my daughter because I really had to think, can I deal with the worry? Can I deal with the anxiety? Because I knew loving something that much would also come with some anxiety and fear. And, of course, rationally, I know it doesn't have to, and worry is a bad use of the imagination. And I know all that, but I still have a part who thinks that worrying about something a lot is how I'm going to protect it. And so I work with that part quite a lot and have upgraded it or given it a new job description so I can be really intentional and thorough and still experience the love without all the worry and anxiety. So you may want to think about, are there any places where you have love and fear paired? And is that preventing you from drawing more love in your life? Because, she's so worried about losing her parents, but she wants to call in a life partner. But there's going to be a part of her that's like, no, we can't handle loving anyone else because the more people we love, the more we have to worry. And that doesn't feel good to a nervous system. So there's going to be, a bit of a block there. So just all really valuable things to keep in mind here. And I just remind all of you that, sometimes there are aspects of you, parts of you that are harder to shift and may just be part of your wiring. And how you relate to them is so much more important than trying to make them go away. Remember, nothing heals in judgment. All right, everybody, that's our show for today. Sending you so much love and many blessings. Until next time. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Life Coaching. I hope something you heard today resonated with you and helped you to see yourself with more clarity and compassion. Remember, every shift, no matter how small you think it is part of your healing. If this episode supported you, please consider sharing it with a friend or leaving a review. It means the world to me. If you'd like to connect with me, come say hi on Instagram at Christine Hassler. And if you feel called to be coached live on the show, you can apply at christinehassler.com/waitlist. For courses, retreats, and more resources to support your journey, visit christinehassler.com. You're not alone in this journey, and I'm grateful to walk it with you. Until next time.